Hi. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what your specialties are, and what brings you to the land of D&D time?
I'm a math goblin. I specialize in math.
I specialize in math. I mean, that all kind of checks out. Now, the math goblins are generally. It seems like you don't associate with maybe the traditional math goblins as a member of Bartholomew's shop.
No, not really.
Well, Polly, you seem to have a very kind of laissez-faire attitude, and I respect that. And I look forward to seeing it out in the adventuring fields today. Welcome. Next up, we have. Now, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce your name, or really anything about you. 10NEF8S?
You can call me Tinny Fates.
Did you say Tinny Fates?
That is correct.
Tinny, welcome. You are another, of course, new adventurer here in the land of D&D time. Would you care to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you kind of bring to the table?
I am a Junkforged Paladin.
A Junkforged Paladin? Is that what you said?
That is correct.
Now, what is kind of bringing you to the land of D&D time? I've never seen an individual quite like you before.
Just following my savior, Professor Dingleheimmel.
Your savior is Professor Dingleheimmel. Well, that's very fortuitous, as I believe that we also have Professor Dingleheimmel with us tonight. Professor Dingleheimmel, welcome to you, and of course, welcome to you, Tinny. But Dingleheimmel, welcome back.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
You are the savior of this Junkforged, according to Tinny herself, themselves.
That is correct. I rebuilt them.
That's very impressive. Professor Dingleheimmel. How did you do this? Just spare parts?
It's a lot of ingenuity and pure science.
Well, we will need to put that ingenuity to the test today in our adventures. Welcome back, Professor Dingleheimmel.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have returning Sir Gillem. Sir Gillem, how are you today?
Sir Gillem is sleeping.
Wait, Sir Gillem's asleep.
Yep.
Now, Sir Gillem, of course, referring to the fish within the fishbowl that rests within your Floran hair.
Yep.
Now, what was your name again? I'm sorry, I always speak to Sir Gillem, so it's common to forget.
Oh, my name is Hal.
Yes, you are, of course, House. The house in which Sir Gillem resides. Hopefully, at some point, Sir Gillem has the chance to wake up, because I'm sure he will be very much needed in today's adventure. Although, House, I'm going to be honest, sometimes it feels like you're doing most of the work.
Indeed, yeah.
Well, welcome all. And so, without further ado, let us hop into our adventure here. You have been sent to a decidedly unpleasant place. Where our adventure begins officially is with the four of you in a very deep layer of the abyss. For anyone who is unfamiliar, the abyss is the realm of demons, and demons specifically. Each kind of realm of the abyss is home to a different demon lord. And the particular realm that you are in, this particular layer of the abyss, is known as the sunken pools. And you've been invited here for an interesting contest. A fishing contest amongst rival demon lords. Apparently, it is a kind of a demon lord exclusive contest, and various minions of some of the powerful demon lords, including demon lords such as Orcus and Zgutmoy and Juiblex. Apparently, it's actually Juiblex who's hosting this year. Gather together some of their minions and have a fishing competition. Where the four of you stand is on this terrible black sand, and all around you, it appears to be something like a kind of a humble lake town, but everything around you is warped and dark. Like I said, the sand is this terrible, terrible black color, and you can see various kind of signs of festivities being set up. And creatures gathering around, and the variety of demons and just terrible beings that you see walking around here is unnerving, even for the most experienced of adventurers. But that's not what you're focused on right now. Instead, you're focused on your employer, Bartholomew, who stands in front of you, kind of coaching you before you're going into this fishing tournament, is what it appears to be being set up here. But like I said, a festivity here in the Abyss. And Bartholomew kind of looks over at the group of you. Now, pay no mind to that terrible, what is that, a tentacled, it's some kind of ooze. I don't know what that is. Now, have any of you fished before? Any of you were good on the sea?
Wake up, Sir Gillem, wake up. It's time to do.
I like this place. This place is very interesting. I need to take samples. He takes a sample of the black sand.
Yeah, you can see as you kind of put some of the black sand in your little vial, it almost kind of like moves and writhes in it a little bit, almost like everything here is living. Same thing with the water of the lake that you're very near. Apparently, the very lake in which you eventually will be kind of fishing in. You can see it's just like this inky black pool that's kind of lapping and waving at your side, and occasionally you can see just some kind of creature pressed over the top of it. The occasional stray tentacle will swarm out of it. You cannot see through this water at all. It is thick and very viscous. Bartholomew kind of continues to kind of stare over at you. So like I was saying, you'll all need to catch, I guess this year, they've got kind of quite a trout in mind. You see that fellow over there? And he points at an ooze creature that appears to be towering hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air.
Yes, I see him.
Yes, very good. That is Juiblex. Do you know who Juiblex is?
No, I don't, but I'm pretty sure. I'm glad to meet him.
Well, that is perhaps not entirely true. Juiblex oozes, those who worship oozes worship Juiblex inevitably. And there are a lot of kind of, you see running the festivities, you can see a lot of oozes, working things like concession stands, and the terrible, like, you see this awful, like, horned minotaur demon walking over and kind of purchasing something from the oozes that just seems to, like, slop some kind of carcass of an animal out of its body. It's unpleasant, to say the least. Yes.
I'll take it that Tinny also knows that Zuckmore lives on the same plane as Dweeb.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of, with that religion check, you can see a lot of minions that seem to kind of share some of Zuckmore's heritage. You see a lot of, like, terrible kind of spore-covered vegapygmies walking around. You see the occasional myconid kind of up in the space. There are a lot of kind of fungal creatures here for certain.
Yeah, I'll just say, Tinny, like, using that little broken, vocalized speech of,
on at this point, and says, so the contest is going to be starting soon. I will need you all to make sure you win. Apparently, the prize fish is... Oh, great! In that case, it's minions only. And he kind of smiles and he pats you on the head, Polly. So, I wish you the best of luck. I will be watching from... well, up there. And you see there's, like, kind of a nice part of the stands. Juiblex is kind of towering above and behind it, but you see several other demon lords there in attendance. This horrible, like, skull-headed individual that's being waited on by some undead. Like I said, you can see this very fungal-looking woman. You see a woman who appears to have, like, several kind of spider legs, and almost appears to look like an arachnid, kind of humanoid lichen, but is clearly very powerful and has several drow kind of waiting on her. And Bartholomew kind of takes a seat in the stands up there, and a number of people are kind of gathering, and you hear that big, giant, towering ooze begin to call out, and you hear just kind of this low, gurgling rumble coming from it. And next to him, you see walking up, you see another kind of smaller ooze with all of these strange tendrils come out of it. One of those tendrils kind of turns and comes into a humanoid shape, which begins to speak. Juiblex has spoken. The fishing tournament will begin soon. Everyone to your boats. And yeah, there are some just very simple wooden rowboats over on the shore of this lake. And yeah, you can see other kind of groups beginning to kind of hurry over and bustle into their boats.
Hey, I'm really good at this. Hold on. I'm actually proficient in water vehicles, so yay.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So do you kind of like take the lead as you're kind of getting ready, and any preparations that you guys want to do? They're going to kind of explain the rules in a moment, but...
Okay, so I guess preparation-wise, Tenny's just probably gonna like get one of his, trying to get like his smith's tools, like kind of like anchor himself down.
Okay.
Put in like nails and stuff through his Junkforged body into the boat, where it won't go through the actual boat, but like one of the seats.
Okay. So you're trying to like affix yourself to the boat.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Go ahead and make me a check with your tools. I roll D20 and probably add strength. All right. Yeah, 12. So you kind of nail yourself in and affix yourself as best you can. It's not super stable, but you couldn't go too much harder and not risk like just hurting yourself by like driving a nail into your frame, which wouldn't feel painful, but it wouldn't be great for overall structural integrity. But yeah, you're relatively affixed, we will say. Anyone else have anything they kind of want to do as you're just kind of waiting around and getting ready?
I'm going to cast a ritual. I mean, construct something.
Oh, yes. But of course, you begin the work of building, and by that you mean, of course, using a ritual spell.
I will prepare my fishing tackle.
Oh, perfect. You take out your fishing tackle, and you're ready. Yeah, you see there are other fishing poles kind of there for you, but you just brought your own, of course. You were being a perfect fit for this particular activity. I mean, you're very used to fishing on the open black waters, being an aquatic Floran yourself.
Well, I'm also a pirate, so
yeah, this is extremely in your wheelhouse. Again, probably why you were selected for this adventure. So that kind of creature continues to speak. The strange slime with like a human coming out of it that seems to be controlling like a puppet. You hear Juiblex continue to kind of make these awful gurgling noises, and the smaller slime seems to be translating for it. Yes, the 300th annual fishing tournament will now commence. As always, we have prepared a wonderful prize this year for our contest, and the demon lords participating this year are, of course, mighty. Juiblex continues. First up, your benefactor and Lord of Slimes, Juiblex himself. And there's kind of, from the assembled, demons and crowd, there's some cheers, there's some boos. It seems like there's a lot of competition and rivalry here. And you see the slime on his boat kind of wiggles and jumps up and down. It looks like there's just one gray ooze on that boat over on the side. Kind of like an unimpressive boat compared to some of the other ones that you see lined up. Next we have Loth, Queen of the Demon Web, Demon Lord of Spiders, and you see this almost spider centaur on a boat next to you, with kind of long spindly legs, kind of puts some of the legs together and like a cross in the air, and kind of offers a deep bow to her lady, as she's kind of preparing. It looks like a drider, and you can see kind of at their side, they have a lot of like netting and webbing that they seem to have created for the purposes of fishing. Next up, they kind of steps over, and the Prince of Undeath, Lord Orcus. You see the one kind of just stands, bows. The skull-faced individual, and a boat full of zombies and skeletons is just kind of busily like kind of pushing themselves a little bit into the water, getting ready. And the Queen of Fungi, Zagatmoy, kind of points to that fungal woman, and you see a whole bunch of those Vegapygmies run up and kind of pour into a boat, all of them carrying like fishing spears. And Demon Prince of Greed, Bartholomew! And Bartholomew kind of stands and nods and kind of waves.
I always knew Bartholomew was a demon.
And he kind of like, yes, yeah, very good. And his minions, and they kind of point at you, and some of the demon lords are just kind of like, the demon lords, but also just the assembled demons seem relatively unimpressed. And they're just confused at why these humans are here participating, or humanoids, if you will.
We love money.
Excellent. This year's prize, of course, as we mentioned, we've caught a splendid trout for your pleasure. So, and this slime kind of produces from within its form this awful-looking trout. It's purpley. It's got kind of like purple scales. On its right side, it has 5 kind of dorsal fins. On its left, it has 3. And another kind of small head and mouth on the left side as well. A whole bunch of eyes. And just these kind of like pulsating green kind of... you're not sure. There's just something on its body. It has like almost these growths. And as the Juiblex kind of holds this fish in the air, it's getting kind of ready to kind of throw it into the pond. As it's pulling it back, you actually hear from the trout, it kind of calls, "Hey, I don't know about all this. Maybe not me this year." And it gets kind of tossed and splashed into like the inky black lake. And that individual kind of just calls out one more time, "All right, fishermen, take your marks, ready, set." And just kind of snaps its fingers, and Juiblex lets out just another bellowing. And you see everyone kind of rush to their boats. And apparently, whoever can bring the fish back to here first will be claimed the winner of this fishing tournament.
Odd question: would an hour have passed by now?
An hour from when you've been here, I'll say that you could have had an hour have passed. Or wait, are you doing Find Familiar?
Yes, I am.
You can have already had your familiar coming in.
Yay, because in that case, it's going to be a hawk.
Not a clipper?
A metal hawk on the shoulder?
Yep.
Excellent. In that case, yeah, the hawk's kind of next to you. Makes a little hawk sound, but it's more hawky and less crowish. What are the rest of you doing?
Well,
I'm pretty sure I'll just grab one of the fishing poles in the boat and just getting ready.
Yep, just pushing off. You see a lot of the other contestants are starting to like push off and get into the lake.
Yep, I can use my water vehicles proficiency to push off and get us as fast as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a check with your water vehicles.
What stat would you like me to use it for?
You can roll me a d20, add wisdom and proficiency.
Okay.
If you want to make a case for something else. Actually, in this particular instance, because of the nature of the water, you can add strength.
Oh, cool. Then in that case, I'm going to use what was originally with, so let's do it. This is going to be strength. Boom.
Okay. So 7, yeah, and as you begin kind of pushing off, you know, you get ready to go into the lake, but the water here is very, very thick. It is unpleasantly so. And as you're kind of pulling, like I said, it's not, normally it's just about kind of controlling and riding out the waves and kind of going with the flow. Here it's just brute or strength as you're trying to basically drag your way through this sludge of a lake. And so progress is slow. You can see a lot of the other boats are getting out a little bit ahead of you at this point, as they're all kind of getting into position. But mostly right now, you see a lot of them just kind of doing a lot of scanning, just kind of looking for the one particular trout that they're intended to catch. And you can tell that there are other fish here as well.
In which case, I'm going to get angry.
All right, keep in mind that only lasts for 1 round unless you're taking damage.
Or I make an attack roll.
So you're gonna... Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll say that you can consider you're attacking the water with your oar. Go ahead and make me another one with advantage. This only lasts about a minute, but this might get you out there a little bit into a better spot. 11. All right, yeah, it's a little bit better. It's still very slow going, and you all see as Sir Gillem seemingly gets very frustrated with kind of pushing this boat through the muck of this lake, and all of a sudden, just kind of, what does it look like when you go into this rage, or your house goes into this rage?
Lightning starts shooting out around him.
Oh, jeez. Okay, you watch as like literal sparks seem to come off of House and Sir Gillem as he just starts oaring way faster and kind of pushing you forward a bit more, just kind of with a mighty roar, I imagine. Yeah, and you get closer to the middle of the lake. You're out kind of in the thick of it now, and you're just kind of, you know, milling about. I assume some of you kind of lower some fishing poles in and begin just...
I can use my net.
All right, yeah, you kind of get your net down. You first, like, initially, you just kind of, like, cast your fishing pole out, and it just, like, rests on the surface of the water. It doesn't even sink in because of how, like I said, how just kind of, like, viscous the fluid is as you're throwing them out. But all of you make me perception checks.
Okay.
All right. Tinny and Dingleheimmel, both of you. You're kind of, you know, fishing. You've gotten out into the lake now for a little bit. You're feeling a little bit better now as the kind of rage subsides and you take that minute to really get some distance. You're feeling a little bit better, House, and your rage kind of comes to an end. And you start to fish. You cast your net, you cast the fishing poles. But Tinny and Dingleheimmel, you hear a sound. It appears to be a voice of some kind. And over to your side you hear, "Excuse me, excuse me. Hi, hello."
Hello. Who wants to speak?
And you lean over.
He looks over to the side.
Yeah, you lean over, just kind of barely poking out, speaking very quietly. Just kind of poking its head out, you see the trout, the one that you're intended to catch. It's just the top of its face is kind of sticking out. You can see its kind of clusters of eyes that it has about the side of its head and just the end of its mouth. "Hello there, hello. So, y'all are in it to catch me, huh?"
Yeah, I assume is this a challenge or are you just giving up?
Giving up might be the term for it. You see, I didn't really want to get caught in the first place. But I don't think I'm going to stay away from most of them for so long. And I was kind of looking at all the individuals up there. There was that spider woman. There was a giant mountain of slime. There was a man that seemed to be made of death. And then there was an old guy with a beard. And I thought if someone's going to catch me, I wanted to be the old guy with the beards, guys.
Okay, we can quote unquote catch you. We'll just make it seem like it takes too long. We're not gonna turn you in right away because that's too easy.
All right, whatever you think. What should I do?
Tinny at this point.
You gotta get me back to the side, right?
Tinny at this point will just stick his arm in, like kind of like make it look like that he's doing like some like fist fishing.
Okay.
Fist fishing.
You're just trying to like punch into the you're just kind of trying to like punch into the water.
More like put my hand in the water and like kind of make it.
Oh, I think I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to do the thing where the person just quickly puts their hands into the water and then brings up a fish in their hand.
Yeah, I'm following you. So are you doing that to just pull the fish out of the water, or are you doing this to like make a distraction and just make it look like you're fishing?
A little bit of both. Like I would like in the broken little vocalized pattern, like just let the fish know that like maybe just swim under the boat for the moment, and then like allow me to quote unquote catch him and just drive him into the part of the boat.
Okay, great. So he goes, "Yeah, okay, I'll just go under the boat then." And he kind of shuffles off and kind of goes and swims underneath. You can feel like you hear just kind of underneath it, just a couple of little taps on the bottom of the boat as he's kind of signaling that he's underneath by hitting it with the fin. And you're there just kind of, fake fishing. Go ahead and make me a performance check.
All right, performance.
Yeah, and it looks pretty credible. You even catch a couple of other fish and end up, or I don't know, they're very terrible to look at. I don't know if you want to throw them back or just keep them, but they're these tiny little yellow fish that have lamprey mouths that you end up pulling out.
Yeah, I'll probably toss those to the math goblin.
Okay. You get a couple of tiny lamprey-like fish thrown into your lap, Polly.
Polly eats one.
Oh god. As you kind of go and bite down on it, you go into the side of it, and it just kind of lets out this awful... I coughed. I couldn't even do the noise I wanted to. Just imagine how bad that noise would be if I could do it, because it made me cough. That's how terrible the thing that you hear is. And as you kind of go down and bite onto it, you take a point of acid damage just from biting onto it. Just 1 point. But it is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
This fish needs to be cooked.
Fair enough. And all right, so yeah, you're kind of in the midst of the lake right now. You're all kind of privy to this conversation at this point. What do you all do? Are you just
hold on? Wait. Hold on. Hold on. He's a fish, and I have hair. The fish can live in my hair. It's a good idea.
To be clear, the fish is about 3 feet long.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
It is a prize. It is like a very prized trout, other than all of the abnormalities, which seem to be a prize here in the Abyss.
I also have a 10 intelligence. I'm not the smartest person.
Fair enough. Just making sure that you were aware.
Well, I'm going to use my wonderful creation as my eyes and ears in the sky of this dark demon planet. As in, I'm gonna have it fly around us.
Okay. You're just kind of flying around, looking just for some sights. I assume you're taking the vision of it and kind of taking a look through its eyes to getting a scope of the area.
Yeah, getting a scope of the area. Get a look at the competition. Yeah, let's look at the competition.
And as you're looking at the competition now, as it kind of flies up and around in the space, you can see that there's one boat that actually seems to be getting closer to you. Most of the other boats in the area, the drider's off just kind of netting the water, and you see they're kind of starting to spread a pretty large web just about the lake, kind of creating, a sensory network almost along the surface of the water. You can see that these zombies and the skeletons, the skeletons just kind of jumped into the water and are just using the fact that they don't need to breathe as a pretty significant advantage here. And are just kind of shuffling around, and the Vegapygmies seem to be having a real hard time of it, just kind of moving pretty aimlessly, it looks like. But the slime boat seems to be headed right for you.
It seems we have a slime. It seems the Slimies want to talk to us.
Hold on, I'll go take care of this, and I jump into the water.
Okay. You hop into the water, and you kind of, expecting the usual kind of, splash. It's more of a slurp, and you just watch as Sir Gillem Fish, kind of ducks under and into the water. As soon as you hit it, you realize that this water, even though you can breathe underwater, it's very unhealthy to breathe. You probably don't want to stay down here too long, but as it stands, you're not dying or anything yet, but this you can tell is bad for you. You hop into the water and go ahead and make me a perception check. Do you have dark vision?
I don't think they have dark vision.
You are. Oh wait, the Florans I believe do.
Is it
only the fungal that has the dark vision?
I think I'm not sure about the Anemonen.
Yeah, okay, so I believe that is correct, that they do not. All right, yeah, you're having a very hard time kind of seeing down here. You do hear the sound from next to you. You can hear almost the bubbling voice of the fish kind of next to you underneath the boat that's just kind of stealthing with you guys right now.
How's it going, Mr. Fish? I could speak fish. Remember, I can speak to fish.
Oh, you can
Fishes
speak
are my friend.
in the tone of underwater. Yeah, excellent. And he kind of speaks to you in the native tongue of fishes, which sounds a lot like his voice. I'm just waiting for any commands down here.
Show me where the boat is. The enemy boat, the boat that was coming close. Show me where it is. I want to go and take.
Oh, yeah, it's right. And you know, at this point, from when you jumped in, it was maybe 30 feet away. But he kind of directs you to a point. He just kind of points you in the direction, and as you kind of get closer to it, you can kind of feel it or kind of hear it moving in the sludge just a little bit above you. But you're
excellent.
directly underneath it. It's about 15 feet away from your own boat at this
Great.
point.
Excellent. I'm gonna rage.
All right.
And then I'm going to take my short sword, or not, my long sword, and stab it into.
Unfortunately, I know that looks good, but underwater attacks have disadvantage.
Oh no! Actually, I could use my javelin. It doesn't have disadvantage. Haha.
You already did it.
Yeah,
but,
it's okay.
On the next one, on future ones, you can do the attack with disadvantage. So I guess we're also gonna. I'd like you guys to roll for initiative.
No problem. I need the boat to make a dex save. Oh no, I can't do that yet. Never mind.
Okay. All right, 17. Okay. So you go up and kind of swing your axe into the boat, and as you do so, your hand kind of gets stuck on it. It seems to like stick to the boat a little bit, and you see that just the boat seems relatively unmanned. There's just like one kind of small ooze that's upon it, and you see Sir Gillem's axe, or you hear the sound of Sir Gillem's axe kind of, or I'm sorry, sword, thudding against the bottom of it from where you are, and you see that he's kind of engaged combat, the three of you who are above the water at the moment. And then you see the boat begin to move and shift, and Sir Gillem, you feel an odd tendril reach out from the form of the boat, as the boat is a mimic.
Oh god, great.
And is going to go ahead and make a bite attack against you as you strike it.
Oh no, I get hit.
As much as you surprise the boat also surprises you.
But I'm also raging at the moment, so that's happening.
Wait,
Okay,
hold on. If he raged and he had disadvantage, but rage gives you advantage.
Rage doesn't give you advantage. Only reckless attack gives you advantage.
No, rage does. Yeah, the reckless attack only is the one that gives you advantage.
And the mimic boat kind of sinks its fake teeth into you, which you're having a hard time seeing. But the boat just seems to swallow you up and is now attacking you underwater. We are in initiative proper. The fish behind you kind of just, oh no, it's some kind of living boat, calls out, and the first to act in this instance would be Professor Dingleheimmel. What do you want to do, Dingleheimmel?
Wait. Oh, right. Doesn't my familiar have an initiative roll as well?
It goes on the same turn as you.
Okay, I'll just do that then. So, they're attacking us now, right? Or are they unaware?
No, they're definitely aware. The boat that he was attacking was a living creature, so it definitely knows.
So I'm going to have the I simply have my hawk fly towards the boat, and I'm going to use its reaction to do. Hold up a second, and.
Oh, you're gonna do the shocking grasp through the thing.
Through the familiar.
Very cool. All right. It's definitely going
20.
to hit. Roll damage on that.
8 lightning.
and it can't use its reaction to make an attack against the hawk, as it takes the 8 lightning damage. So the mimic boat, you just kind of hear it make this terrible kind of screeching noise, and the lightning damage just kind of courses into it, and the hawk flies away safely. Yeah, anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right, that's going to bring us to the mimic itself, which is going to continue to bite at you, Sir Gillem, because you're the only one that's in range. That is
Not with that.
That is a 12. Yeah, unfortunately.
Did you skip the gray ooze? Gray ooze was after me.
The gray ooze and the mimic are going at the same time. So
Okay.
I haven't taken a turn for him yet. That's all for the mimic's turn. It tries to bite onto you, and it was unable to do so. As the boat's kind of now splashing, you see the gray ooze itself kind of moves to the end of the boat. The boat continues to move. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. You're currently being grappled by the boat.
You never mentioned that, but it's okay.
As it's just part of the attack. And you're kind of moving closer back to your own boat as the boat continues to move through the water, as you're kind of stuck to it, like I was saying. And the gray ooze is just kind of sitting on the helm of the boat, just kind of slurping about, but it can't do anything because it doesn't seem to be able to jump at all. And so it's just kind of waiting on the boat. That is all for the boat's turn. That's going to bring us next initiative, which is you, Sir Gillem.
Awesome. Seeing that my greatsword was no help, I pull out my Trout, which I do not have disadvantage on. Haha.
Yes, this is correct.
Okay, so Trident, kabam!
Yep. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Awesome.
Sure.
Also, I need the boat to make a deck save. Hold on.
The boat's not great at those. Oh, but apparently it's incredible at those.
Okay, no problem, because that I would have had a shotgun. It's okay.
Does it take half damage?
Gotta check.
What is he using to do the deck
I
save
believe it is
with?
a barbarian ability. Is a bonus
Yes,
action.
shotgun. Boom.
Yes. So it's going to take half damage. So go ahead and still roll the d6.
Yeah.
It's going to take 2 points of lightning damage as well. So a grand total of 11 damage. Yeah, the bottom of the boat, you see, like, this time you just watch a trident stick up through the boat from the bottom as Sir Gillem Fish underneath it is attacking it pretty fiercely. You all see. That's going to bring us next in initiative 2. That's going to bring us next in initiative 2. The same tie. I think that's going to go to Polly first. Polly, what do you want to do?
You didn't give the ooze a turn? Okay.
The ooze, I told you, does nothing on its turn. It's just sitting on the end of the boat because it cannot jump the distance.
I didn't hear that. My bad.
That is all good.
Right. I am going to
wait.
use this turn to calculate an optimal attack for next turn.
Okay. Are you like readying an action, or is this just some ability that you have that I'm?
I think this is a cantrip. I think this is True Strike.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're casting.
Yes,
Okay. I didn't see the spell. Fair enough. You begin your calculations in your mind. That is then going to bring us, in that case, to Tinny. What do you want to do, Tinny?
All right. Question: would I be able to like kind of signal the Trout underneath the boat with like a snap motion, and then like grab him and put him onto the boat?
Yeah, you can do that. You can just do that if you want.
All right. In that case, that's what I'm gonna do. Full action to just grab
Or
him.
you just kind of like lean over and yell at the Trout, and you kind of go and pick him up and just drop him into the boat.
Yeah.
As you do so, as you kind of grab onto him, he kind of says, whoa, watch out for my venom sex! And you see on the side of him, he has these like terrible kind of green, just nodules on his body, and as you kind of pick him up and apply some force, a few of them kind of pop. And you are subjected to the Trout of the Abyss's Venom Sacs feature. Oh, which I rolled to GM. and you take half damage from the 1 damage, which means you take none. Nice. And you see some kind of poison course out and get on your arms, but you're fine. You're a robot. You don't care about poison. And you drop the trout, who's now kind of floundering around, and he goes, I can't stay out here too long. I need to breathe in the water, but this is fine for now. I think that's the round. And at the top of the initiative, you can see, like, the commotion of your battle is kind of signaling. Also, you have the trout in the boat now, so you see a lot of the other boats are starting to kind of move towards your position. All right, top of the initiative, I believe, belonged to Dingleheimmel. What do you want to do, Dingle?
This is interesting. I'm going to try a different tactic. Go, my rocket!
Oh, are you firing at the boat or the ooze?
The boat.
Or I guess another one of the ones coming towards you. It looks like there's going to be at you within the next round.
I'm firing at the boat, the same boat that I was shocking grasp on.
That absolutely hits. Roll damage. 7 points of fire damage. Yeah, the boat's starting to look a little bit beat up. And the gray ooze upon it is still just kind of chilling. Anything else on your turn?
No, I don't have anything else I can do, so no.
All right, that brings us to the boat and the grace itself. The boat moves kind of the rest of the way and goes and crashes into the next your boat. It kind of rocks and tips a little bit, but not enough to fall over. And the gray ooze jumps out and is going to attack you, Dingleheimmel, as it's boarding your boat.
Try me!
It shall, as it makes an attack against you.
Oh no, but don't worry, I have this!
Oh, you block it with a shield, nice! It kind of puts up one slimy hand towards you as this little ooze goes to get you, and you throw up the shield blocking it.
That actually met my armor, my AC, but I used shield.
Yes, so it would have gotten you, but it did not instead. And then the Mimic is going to keep going after you, Sir Gillem. But in 11, I assume misses.
No, it's not going to hit, no.
Alright, that is going to bring us next to you, Gillem. What do you want to do?
Trident!
Alright, hit.
Damage! Dex save!
Dex save.
Oh, yes, full damage.
Alright, 13 points of damage. As you stab the trident up against once more, it penetrates through the bottom of the boat. The Mimic is looking to be pretty beat up at this point. It's going to be hard for it to go back to shore, being the boat in its boat form anymore. And yeah, it's kind of all over the place as its body is kind of jiggling and moving. Anything else on your turn?
Oh, that's it for now.
Alright, I would like you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'm good at those, so...
Alright, yeah, you can feel the water around you. It's starting to, like, get to you a little bit, and you feel yourself growing a little lightheaded, breathing this, like, toxic sludge of a pond. You don't know how much longer you'll be able to go kind of down here underneath it. It's gonna start getting bad. That brings us next in initiative to Polynomial. Polly, you've calculated.
I'm going to cast Inflame Vector on the ooze.
Excellent. Go ahead and fire away. Oh, that's the power of your calculations paying off for you right there. Excellent. Go ahead and roll damage. For 9 points of fire damage. Crashes into the boat. The ooze is on the verge of defeat, but is not quite enough to finish it off, unfortunately. Very close. Anything else on your turn, Polly?
Is there anything that's on the boat that's on fire now?
The Mimic's body is just on... I mean, it's just... everything that was on the boat is the Mimic, basically. So the only thing else that was on there was the ooze, which jumped off. So yeah, it's not in great shape on the whole, I would say.
Yeah, alright.
That's gonna bring us to Tinny.
Alright, so, how's the trout looking?
The trout is flopping around. Doesn't seem too happy. You see some of the tiny mouths that are on the side of his body are kind of calling out, "Ah, no!" And the Trout kind of goes, "Don't mind them. Do what you gotta do. We're gonna get through this."
All right, so Kenny will take his warhammer with both hands and pretty much attempt to bat the gray ooze away.
You can just basically get, yeah, that works.
All right, 3 damage is enough to finish it up. It was at 2 hit points. So you crash the hammer down onto the boat, and with that, the mimic kind of shrivels up and just kind of sinks into the abyss below. Anything else on your turn, Tim?
Well, I mean, I did say the gray ooze, not the mimic. But...
Oh, I'm sorry, the gray ooze. I thought that was against the mimic. That's my mistake. Yes, I'm sorry. You hit the gray ooze for 3. It kind of, as it hits the hammer, it seems to be, as you hit it, it actually seems to corrode a little bit your hammer. Your hammer now has a -1 penalty as you strike the gray ooze. You hit it for 3 damage, but it looks like the hammer is made of this, or I'm sorry, the ooze is made of this terrible corrosive material.
Alright, so maybe want to attack, damage, or both?
-1 to damage.
Alright.
It does not affect your attack rolls.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yep. Thank you for pointing that out. I actually didn't realize that until you said it. Alright, anything else on your turn?
One moment. Let me look, see if there's anything else I can do. Question. Would lay on hands be...
That is an action. A full action.
I know. I just want, like, just ahead of time, would it be beneficial to the trap?
You don't know. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I guess you don't know that.
I don't know. Okay, so...
Talk to him on your next turn if you want.
Well, I'm trying to see, divine presence... Okay, it's an action, never mind. So yeah, that's all I'm going to be doing for this.
Alright, in that case, that brings us, I think, around to the top of initiative, yes?
Indeed, it's my turn!
Yes, Professor.
And
I'm sorry, at the top of the initiative, the boats, the other kind of parties are now getting very close. On the next round, they'll be ready to kind of engage.
How far are they away from me? Or us? Like, are they, like...
Their boats have kind of moved into a range of about 30 feet.
Oh, that's actually, let me check something.
That's close enough to
yeah,
catch
that's not
fire.
gonna... Yeah, that's not gonna work out for one of my spells, but yeah, go my creation, finish that boat off, or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, a 9 does not do it. As you go in kind of shocking grasp, the hawk flies but is unable to catch onto it.
I was going to, but since it's the hawk's reaction, I'm going to do a creative idea. I'm going to have the hawk, without attacking it, grab the trout and fly around with it.
The hawk is not powerful enough to pick up the trout. It's like 3 feet long.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, familiars don't have that kind of strength, unfortunately.
Okay, well then, never mind. I thought that was going to be a good idea, but yes, that's the end of my...
Alright, that is going to bring us then to the boat and the... Oh wow, I didn't think the boat would get another round. It's going to pseudopod at you again. Actually, no, because you're right up next to it now, Tinny. It's going to try and pseudopod at you. I assume a 7 does not do it, though.
Nope.
And the... Oh, sorry, so many character sheets. The boat is going to bite at you. Oh, that's a 21 to hit you.
Oh, that'll hit me. That'll hit me. But hey, guess what? He gets cool stuff. Poison defense.
Ooh, nice. I know what that is. Oh wait, no, of course that's poison defense. So it takes 2 points of poison damage, and that's actually exactly. Oh man, that's exactly enough to finish off the boat. As it goes to bite onto you, it kind of coughs and sputters as it tries to get your anemone-like form, and collapses and just kind of sinks into the water, as I described earlier. Yeah, that's it for the boat's turn.
Are you knocked out at this point? You took a lot of damage.
No, I'm not. I
he's
haven't
level
taken
3.
much damage. I'm raging.
Yeah,
you
he
guys...
takes damage as well. And now it's your turn, Sir Gillem.
Okay, so knowing that this stuff is probably not good for me, I'm gonna swim back up to our and I'm gonna take I could get on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get onto the boat. I'm gonna take my barrel. I'm gonna fill it, which I happen to have a barrel on my character sheet. I'm gonna take my barrel. I'm gonna fill it with the water and stick it right there on and throw the fish inside.
Oh, kind of like putting fish in a barrel?
Yes, like putting fish in a barrel. Yeah.
All right. You create a little barrel of water for the fish to sit in.
Yeah.
As you go and grab onto the fish, he goes, "No, wait, my poison sacks!"
That's okay. I'm poisoned too, so we're good. We're friends.
You are going to take 6 points of poison damage. Do you have that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Wait, don't Anemonen have the poison immunity or resistance?
I'm looking for it.
I'm like, yeah, because if they're able to poison others, they should have poison resistance.
Well, while you figure that out, either you take full or half, and that is going to be all I think for your turn. Is it's a lot to kind of climb into the boat, get a barrel, and put the fish in.
Yeah, it's all good.
And that brings us next in initiative to. But yeah, the Trout's on the barrel. He goes, "This is much better. I feel so much more safe." That's gonna bring us to Polly. What do you want to do, Polly? There's other boats closing in on you. You can see all the zombies are kind of rowing towards you. The Vegapygmies.
Okay, no.
There's the one Drider.
All right, Anemonen do not have poison resistance at all.
Okay, so yeah, you just take
No,
the
they
plus
don't.
6. Just into their own poison, but not that of others.
Okay, so we have the zombies, the driders, and the pygmies.
The Drider is just a singular, but the other ones are kind of groups. There's 4 Vegapygmies, and you can see there's 2 zombies. The skeletons that were on the boat when they started, there was a bunch of those, seem to be gone.
Okay,
There's also a Grey Ooze still on your boat.
yeah.
Don't forget that.
I trust my companion. My companions are gonna take care of the ooze.
Okay.
I'm going to. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna inflame vector the Drider. The Drider. So.
Unfortunately not. Your inflamed vector flies off, just like a giant flaming, I imagine just an arrow, not an arrow in the sense of like a bow and arrow, but like the symbol of an arrow flies past it, and keeps going, but is unable to strike.
Yes, it's a flaming arrow.
Yes. Anything else on your turn?
No, not at the moment.
All right, that's gonna bring us then
Unfortunately.
to Tinny. Tinny, what's it gonna be?
All right, so Sir Gillem as well as the barrel is on the boat.
Yes. And I'm also hurting right now.
I don't want to.
And we have a gray ooze.
And we do
Well,
have
yeah, there's something I was gonna do, but if I lay on hands, it'll just delay us some more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just do what I was gonna do. I'm gonna pretty much squish the Sir Gillem and the barrel together, pick them up, and toss them as close to the shore as I can.
You're a pretty good ways from the shore at the moment. You guys rowed out pretty far originally.
How far?
You're about like 60 feet from the shore.
Okay, and how close are all the boats, like, in comparison to us, how close are they to the shore?
The boats are about, you're closer to the shore than anyone else. The boats are about, 30 feet or so.
All right, that's fine, because I'm pretty much picking up both the Sir Gillem and the barrel together and tossing them into the water towards the shore.
I'm okay with that. Let's go.
All right, go ahead and make me a strength check. It's a lot of weight that you're trying to throw, but
Alright, so strength or strength athletics?
Wait,
Oh,
you're
sure,
throwing
you
the
can make it
barrel with the
athletics.
fish? I don't think the enemy can just easily get that barrel, but...
That'll be, athletics. Go for it. 9. All right, yeah, you pick him up, but Sir Gillem is very heavy in his own right, and the barrel is also just a barrel full of water. So as you go to toss it, I mean, you throw him out about kind of like 5 feet or so. I mean, you get him like a pretty impressive distance considering that it's a full-grown person in a barrel of water, but not a lot of appreciable distance.
Thank you.
But yeah, they kind of splash in, and it'll save them kind of getting out of the boat, and the barrel's out there too, which will make it easy for the fish to move.
And also barrels float, so that'll be a fun, cool.
Oh yeah, also it was like as a parting word, like in his little vocalized piece, he goes, "Swim!"
And the trout goes, "But don't you have to bring me in yourself?" And he starts to swim.
No, he was targeting that towards Sir Gillem.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fish. Well, that's what the fish says anyway.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring us to the top of the initiative, which would be you, Dingleheimmel, but now there's other kind of players in the game.
How close are they? Is it possible for me to get on another boat?
Not quite your turn yet, but it will be. I'll tell you this in advance. You see the zombies boat? They spend their whole turn getting right up next to your boat. You can see that the Drider kind of reaches down, and some of those nets that she's been wielding, she's going to go ahead and make a attack against the fish and try and grab the fish in with her net. She tosses it, and you see the web extends from her hands and flies towards the barrel. But because you put the fish in a barrel, I'm going to say shooting fish in a barrel is very easy at point blank, but at a distance, I think it's significantly harder. So we're going to say disadvantage for the 3/4 cover.
That makes sense.
So it's but a 17 is still going to... Man, those are some incredible rolls. A 17 is still going to get the fish. And you watch as this web flies over, reaches into the barrel, and then the trout just kind of goes, "Wait, what is... Whoa!" And just gets kind of dragged backwards, and all of a sudden, the fish gets pulled into the Drider's boat, and you see the Drider is beginning to head towards shore with the fish. At the same time as this happens, you see...
Can I... Wait, so I can't get on the Drider's boat now at this time?
The Drider's a little farther away, and the Drider's just going for the shore. You see the zombies are near you. You see the Vegapygmies are going to start chucking spears at the Drider, because they also want the boat. So the Vegapygmies are going to throw a bunch of spears at the Drider. That's going to be 2 hits, 3 hits. The Vegapygmies hit the Drider for 14 points of damage and are swimming closer to her. The zombies are up on your boat, and you also watch as 3 skeletal hands reach up from under the water and crash onto the Drider's boat, who's looking around in a bit of a panic now. Now it is your turn, Dingleheimmel.
So how far away is the boat?
The Drider's boat's 30 feet away from you. She used her whole turn, basically, to get the fish to her, so she's got a ways to go.
I have the perfect idea! To snap this fish back. I'm going to use my Hextech hand to push the boat back to me. Is that even possible?
Is that Mage Hand?
Yeah, Mage Hand can push.
That can only push up to 10 pounds, man.
Wait, you're kidding? I thought that only counts if it's carrying.
No, I mean, it's the same. It can exert 10 pounds of pressure, and that's not going to do it in the sludge. I won't make you waste your turn on it. You can have done something else. But...
Yeah, okay. Then instead of that, I will have my hawk swoop in and nab the Drider in the back with shocking grab.
All right, that you can do. All right. 16 is going to just barely hit. Unfortunately, fortunately, roll damage on that. 3.
3 lightning damage.
Fortunately for her. All right, you deal 3 points of lightning damage. The Drider seems pretty tough, but as you kind of, shock the outsider body, she's annoyed by it, but she kind of bats the hawk off with one of the extra leg, and you can see she's very fixated on getting back to shore. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right. That is going to bring us to the Grey Ooze, who's still on the boat, is going to continue to go after you, Tinny. That's a 16. Does 16
yes.
get... Oh. Oh, that would have been a rough one too. That's a lot of damage. All right, yeah. The pseudopod goes to get you. You step out of the way, avoiding hurting your armor at all. That is going to then bring us to Sir Gillem. What do you want to do, Sir Gillem?
Oh, excellent. So I'm still kind of close to that boat.
You're close to your boat. The
Not
other
the-
boat's about 30
Not
feet
the drider
away.
bait. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I have a swim speed of 30, so I could just get right up close to it. But I'm not going to be right now on it, because I'm going to take her idea and try to capture the fish in the net with my net. I'm close by.
You're gonna net the net?
You don't. I mean, you can throw the net at the fish, but you don't have like the cool drag it back move that she does.
Why not?
Because
Oh, man.
that's a custom move that only she has.
Oh, darn it.
Well,
Darn it.
I mean, you can throw a net at it, and you can restrain the fish, maybe.
Well, at least you can get tug of war with it at best, but
Okay, fine.
You
In that
can
case,
prevent her from winning the game.
fine. In that case, I could just net the hopefully.
net nothing. You net nothing apparently, or you net yourself like Robbie Rotten on.
All right, yeah, you were going to throw the
wait.
net at. Are you gonna like swim up to the boat and then throw the net at the spider?
Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay, yeah. So you go up to the boat. You're kind of like hanging on the side of it now, and you toss the net, but she kind of just kind of dodges out of the way. It kind of falls harmlessly on the other side into the water. You have a bonus action still?
Oh, no problem. I'm gonna need to make her to make a dexterity saving.
We can probably do that.
I shotgun gun her.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Whoop.
Oh, fail! She takes 1 damage!
She takes a lightning damage. The net flies past, and she's like completely dodged. And then you see a single spark fly off of it and get her right in the cheek. Anything else on your turn?
That's it for that.
All right, that's gonna bring us to Polly. There's a gray ooze on your boat. There's a couple of zombies that are getting up real close to it, and then there's all kinds of stuff happening with a drider.
I'm gonna flame vector the drider.
All right, fly her away, fire away.
Yay,
Damage.
I hit.
Damage. 3 points of fire damage. It's the war of small numbers against this drider as the fire crashes into her. The wounds of 1,000 cuts. Is that?
Well, at least anything that's not on or near her catches fire.
Would that be her net?
That might be her net.
I think if it's webbed, wouldn't that catch on fire?
Is that like a mechanic of that ability? What is that?
It is. It is a mechanic of web. It actually can catch on fire.
No,
Yes.
I'm asking of Inflame Vector.
Yes.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it's a
Typically
firebolt. So
Firebolt does catch
yes,
things
a
on fire.
flammable object hit by the spell ignites heat if it isn't being worn or carried. So.
So
That's
the
what
net
it
the net is being carried, but if you want to aim at the net next time, you can like try and target the net. That's definitely
All right.
reasonable. So yeah, for now it crashes into her, and you see she kind of like calls out, getting very frustrated. Stop it! And no one seems to stop.
Come back here and face us like the coward you are.
Why would a coward face you? That seems like you've contradicted yourself. She calls out as we move on now to Tinny's turn.
don't worry, my companions. You're just a little stressed.
Okay, so at this point, Tinny's going to just sit in the boat with the oars and just full throttle it towards the drider's boat.
All right, go ahead and make me a strength check to try and push the boat in the sludgy water. Yeah, you get full movement. You get right up next to the driver's boat.
All right, and so I guess would that be my turn or?
I'll say that you still have an action. I'll give it to you because you rolled so well.
All right, so yeah, after we get right next to the boat, I'm just going to get on the boat and just push the drider into the water.
All right, go ahead and make a shove attack.
That would be.
Just roll your regular attack, and I can't
basically-
remember. I can't remember the mechanics for shove off the top of my head.
It's
I
a
believe
normal
it's
weapon attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's just a grapple. So
So basically just a.
make
regular...
an athletics check, basically.
God dang it!
And that one's going to be contested by her strength. which, yeah, not enough. You go and kind of push onto her, and the Drider, like I said, is like a spider centaur. The lower half of the body is like a spider with like the waist moving up, and she has a very firm grip on her surroundings. So as you go to push her, she just seems kind of like almost stuck to the ground with her spider climbability. Was that all for your turn?
Man,
that would be all.
Yeah, that would be all. Also, yeah.
All right, that's going to bring us then to the top of the initiative, which a whole bunch of things happen. Vegapygmies continue to throw spears at the Drider, and they don't have advantage, but one of them does manage to hit for 8 points of piercing damage. Nice. Another tiny little Vegapygmy spear flies in. They seem to be running low on spears, and one kind of catches her about the chest. She's starting to look like she's taking some damage. 3 skeletons climb onto the boat, and also 2 of them are going to swarm the Drider and make short sword attacks against the Drider. But one of which hits for 11. A big cut. She calls out, "Ah!" And the skeletons are making kind of clanking noises. The zombies over in their boat on the other side are fine. The other one is going to make a short sword attack against the web. You see one of the skeletons cuts the webbing out, wraps its arms around the Trout, and ducks downwards and just jumps back into the water with the Trout.
Sweet! Yay! He's right there.
After them, Sir Gillem.
With the Trout kind of hopping as it jumps out. The Drider's going to make an attack of opportunity against this guy with the bite, which is going to hit for 1. Not enough. That's a rough roll. And that is all for the zombie's turn. And the Drider herself is going to look around. There's not a lot she can do. I guess she's gonna go after and try and take. Actually, the only one in range is you, Sir Gillem. The Drider is gonna go ahead and make...
no, aren't there skeletons right on her boat?
Yeah, they're skeletons.
To be fair, it's
skeletons.
me and
There's skeletons. Vegapygmies are thrown from a range, but she can go after the skeletons. So she's going to bite the skeleton twice, hitting it, but man, really weak rolls. And also, skeletons immune to poison, so it's kind of mismatched here. As she goes and bites down onto the skeleton, it's just kind of there, just like swinging a short sword and not really paying much attention. And that's going to bring us next in initiative to Sir Gillem. No, it's Dingleheimmel. Dingleheimmel, what do you want to do?
I was gonna say, you skipped a lot of people there. Let's see.
Fire
So
is
the skeleton with the fish is still in the water, right?
Yeah.
Would I have gotten an attack of opportunity? Did he swim past me? 'Cause I'm in the water.
He went up around the other side.
Okay, cool.
Oh, well, this'll be easy. Go, my missiles! Is that enough to kill it, or do I need one more?
Oh, the skeleton?
Yeah.
You can't target the skeleton because you can't see it, because it's under the black water. Or actually, do you need to target a target you can see with magic missile?
No.
I believe you do, but I might be...
each creature... The darts all strike a damage... It doesn't... Oh, that you can see within range. I have to see it.
Yeah, you have to be able to see them, unfortunately. But you can send those magic missiles at any other target.
Actually...
The ooze is still in front of you, still slowly trying to get it, get Tinny.
Yeah, I'll have the missiles hit. I'll have the missiles hit the ooze then.
All right, yeah.
I was going to remind. To be fair, Tinny did get on the Drider's boat.
Oh, that is true. There's so many things going on. So it should have provoked opportunity, but I did it. But that's good, because then the ooze would have gone after you next, Dingleheimmel. But as you crash the 3 magic missiles into it, as you're the only one, I think, still on the boat, actually. Wait. No, Polly
never left the boat.
Polly is also on the boat. That's going to be 11 points of damage to that gray ooze. And that finishes it off. As it kind of slurps down, the ooze team is completely finished off once and for all. Yeah, that's going to be it for your turn, I assume, Dingleheimmel?
Indeed.
Now, it is Sir Gillem.
Fantastic. So there's so I can still talk to the fish. Where you at, fish? Say something.
And he kind of calls out, "I'm over here!"
Okay, so then I can duck down under the water. Well, first I'm gonna hold my breath real quick, like take a deep breath, drop down under the water, go towards the voice, which I'm assuming is within.
Yep, it's close enough. You can get to him, no issue.
Okay, no problem. Cool. Trident!
All right, roll damage. That absolutely kills the skeleton. You just stab the trident into it, and it just breaks into a pile of bones. And the fish kind of calls out, "Freedom!" And kind of swims back over and moves up next to you.
Oh, let's go, fish buddy. Let's go. And we're gonna go and continue to my full movement towards the shore.
All right, yeah, you're getting closer. You're about one round of just uncontested movement away from the shore, which is going to bring us next initiative to Polly. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and set the Drider's boat on fire.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Inflame vector.
10. I mean, it's a boat, so it's hard to miss. Roll damage.
Okay.
I mean, it's an inanimate object, so does
Yeah,
that mean it catches fire?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As you crash the firebolt into the boat, you see it begin to kind of flames lick up and around, and yeah, that's it. The boat's now starting to catch on fire. It'll take it's a solid construction. It'll take a little while for it to completely engulf. Also, keep in mind that it is in the water, but you can see it starting to spread around the outskirts. The Drider's kind of looking around nervously at her situation, starting to worry less, it looks like, about the fish, and more about, well, I really don't want to die on this boat. Anything else on your turn, Polly?
No, considering flames go up, no.
That is all for that, so that's going to bring us to Tinny. What do you want to do, Tinny?
I'm going to pretty much just push at least attempt again to push the Drider down and then just leap off the boat because I'm also on it and it caught fire.
Yeah, because you're on that boat as well. Yeah, your boat's next to it.
Yeah, get on our boat. Get on our boat, my creation.
Okay, yeah, so I'll pretty much like try to push the Drider down prone, and then just jump back on our boat.
All right, make an athletics check. Gonna be contested by the Driders. It could work. No, a crit's twice in a row.
What's with this crits, man?
Luck repeat, that's what.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You just roll good. That's the trick. And you jump back onto the boat. She already used a reaction this round, so she cannot provoke an opportunity. So you're back on the boat. The three of you are on the boat, and Sir Gillem's just swimming back to shore with your dear
Keep
friend.
in mind, we were underwater the whole time, so nobody could really have seen where we were. Because
this is true. The only person who's aware of this is the drow with her, the Drider with her superior dark vision, can see through the murk here, and is going to make one kind of desperate disadvantage, and it's going to even be harder.
Hey, goblins have dark vision.
Do you have superior dark vision? Also, you could probably see a little bit as well. Is going to make one. It's disadvantage, and there's also going to be a hefty penalty on it because she has to go through the sludge of the water. 11 is not going to do it. As the web kind of flies forward and into the water, you see it go to sink and like wrap around. You see the web seeming to like form this terrible net, and it goes to reach, and you go, no! And it just gets caught up in the sludge and pulls back with nothing. And that's the Drider's turn. There's no one else that can stop you. The battle rages on. The Vegapygmies are kind of like just chucking spears aimlessly into the water, but they actually have no idea where you are, so they're just kind of like throwing them. And that's all for foes' turns. You are kind of free and clear to win this thing. But before that happens, it is going to go to Dingleheimmel.
So we still have Vegapygmies. So
yeah, you still got Vegapygmies. You want to cause a little more chaos?
Yes, I must cause a lot more chaos. So, how far is their Vegapygmies boat?
The Vegapygmies boat is about 30 feet away.
Darn, because I thought.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, 20.
Is it possible for me to reach it, by jumping off of the boat?
Yeah, go ahead, or you can try and row the boat over next to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Actually, no. I don't want to be on the. I don't want anyone. I'm about to do something that's gonna hurt other people if I do this. So can I just go jump off the boat and reach it that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say you can. Yeah, you have speed 15, so yeah, you'll have a range of 15 feet if you want to do that.
Oh, perfect. Then I'm like 10 feet within the boat, which is perfect. So, time for my latest new weapon, and I just pull out a literal thunder cannon and just do this.
All right. All the
Vegapygmies must make Constitution saves or be pushed into the water and take 6 thunder damage. Two of them fail and fall into the water.
Two of them fail, and you see 2 of them just go flying off the back of the boat. The Drider, and 2 of them kind of still are thrown back a little bit, but are still there. The water splashes and rocks into space as they all kind of call out, eh, eh! And the Drider at this point, the zombies are just kind of confused, trying to row, never quite keeping up. They seem very slow. The skeletons just kind of like stop. And the Drider's kind of panicked. You see her legs are starting to get singed from the fire burning up and moving, coursing throughout the boat as she's trying pretty desperately to put it out. But that brings us to Sir Gillem Fish. You have a straight shot.
Yep, we're just gonna swim over, and before we get to shore, because I could dash. Before we get to shore, I'm just gonna hold out my net and say jump in, and then he's gonna jump in my net, and we're gonna.
All right, yeah, he hops into the net, and then you come barreling out the other side, holding this wonderful trout within the air, who kind of calls out, "He got me!" And you kind of hold the net up victorious, and you see on the far side of the water, the ooze that was kind of announcing things before. We have a winner! And there's a scattering, a very light scattering of applause, because basically every single person here is disappointed, except Bartholomew, who kind of is clapping very loudly up on the stands. Great job! Great job! You've done me proud. I will take that fish now, if you do not mind.
No, I'm good. He could live in my hair.
Oh no, that's the prize.
Yep, I know, I want it. Mine.
No. No, you don't understand. What you don't understand
the fish. Already have one.
That is the reason you did it. And as you're arguing with Bartholomew,
I mean, we're just as greedy as you, Lord Bartholomew, Demon Lord.
Yes, I am in fact a Demon Lord. Don't worry about that. You see a couple of the Demon Lords as you say that, or look. Juiblex says something. Says something and it's gurgles, and Bartholomew looks like, no, don't worry about it, it's all fine. So we have been victorious. We can talk about this in the teleportation circle back. Get up. Let us go.
All right.
And with that, you have been successful in your adventure. You've won the fishing contest, which means each of you have gained 1 point of experience. Each of you have earned 100 Bartholomew bucks, which means if you were level 1, you are now level 2. And that's going to conclude...
In celebration, Nomial wants to set the other boats on fire.
You toss around some more flaming vectors. There's fireworks. No one seems to care. It's just kind of... The demons seem very laissez-faire, even approving of your wanton destruction here. Yeah, with that, you eventually find your way back, where, like I said, you have won this particular adventure. Do any of you wish to shop? Also, Jeremy, are you here?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Yes. Anyone hearing
no shop?
Going once, twice, 3 times?
You don't have the lightning charm yet, do you? No?
No, charms are gonna switch out at the beginning of April.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
In that case, we'll be right back. Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching our goofy Trout adventure.